Mike, aka Mr. Glitched. We're here today with another sips, and I guess this one will be sips and stitches. We're going to be doing something with crocheting or knitting, depending on which one works out better. So, we have another Sips By box. So this one is my May box. We're a little behind in getting through these, so yeah, we ended up with quite a backstock of tea to drink. But yeah, we can get started now. So I have this divided up, so these were the two that were loose leaf, and these were the two that were from bags, so I could tell them apart. I added a teaspoon of sugar to each, and then these two each got a splash of milk. So first one is, yeah, this one. Japanese Sencha by the Irie Cup. So, let's see. Japanese Sencha is thought by many in the tea world to be one of the truest expressions of Japanese tea, and this brew is no exception. It will win the hearts of all who drink it. Alright, have at it. It's fancy green tea.
They don't know me very well.
Mm. I thought it smelled pretty good when I was making it.
I don't taste much.
No, I very rarely taste any of the green tea.
True. But yeah, there's not much taste to it.
Alright, well, I can't offer an opinion unless you let me try it too. No, put it down and I'll pick it up. The handles on these are too small.
True. The one.
Well, it's not grassy or unpleasant, it's just...
No, it just doesn't have much taste.
It'd be really good with honey.
It needs a booster. That's what I think. I think it needs
Maybe
a boost.
honey and fruit?
Fruit?
Yeah, you know, like sometimes you'll have like tea with little cut up pieces of fruit in it. Like an iced tea with fruit in it.
Maybe.
I think that'd be pretty good. Iced tea with honey and fruit. Anyway.
Yeah, maybe.
That'd be a lot more effort, but I think it would work nicely for that. Alright, the next one is a Lavender Earl Grey by White Tea Company. A simple but perfect combination of lavender and bergamot with black tea. Alright. This one had a pretty strong smell to it.
I'm not a big old lavender, as you know.
I know.
You definitely smell the lavender.
I can smell it from over here.
It's strong. The lavender is very strong. It's not my cup of tea. You like lavender.
Pun
I don't.
intended. This is another one of those Earl Greys where for whatever reason the bergamot tastes like licorice to me, and I'm not sure why it tastes like licorice to me because apparently that's not what it tastes like to other people. Weirdly enough for me, I can smell the lavender, but I don't taste it. I just taste the bergamot.
Maybe that's all I'm tasting.
I don't know. It's not bad.
No. It's not.
Not my absolute favorite, but it's not bad. Alright, the next one is the one that I think you're gonna like. So this is Caramel Vanilla Cuppa Cake by the Republic of Tea.
How it's written?
Cuppa Cake.
It's actually spelled.
Yes, C-U-P-P-A. Cuppa Cake.
Cuppa Cake.
Taste the decadent flavors of old-fashioned southern yellow cake with homemade caramel vanilla frosting.
Oh, good lord.
The smell of it, like when I opened the box, I was just like, something smells amazing.
It does. It smells awful. Excuse me.
Oh, no, come back. I want to make another one. It smells just like a container of vanilla frosting.
Oh, good lord,
Like
that's good. Oh man, that's good.
Yeah, I like that.
This is gonna be a fist for all after all is done because
We're gonna have to buy more of that one.
Because we divide and conquer which ones we want after
That was quite good.
the video. So.
All right, this last one, which is a very suspicious looking shade of yellow, is Organic Moringa Green Tea by Miracle Tree.
That's the organic.
Moringa is one of the world's most nutrient-dense superfoods. It's rich in vitamins, minerals, and amino acids. It can be used daily to restore dietary imbalances. Just the one left to try. You want to go first? Or are you scared of the yellow color?
I'm not scared of it.
It looks
It's very suspicious, but yes. Oh,
I don't know how I feel about that yet.
oh, good lord. Oh, no.
What's worse is that it's apparently decaf.
Oh, that's nasty. Please tell me you only have one of those.
No, I have more, but I don't have to keep it. I'm trying to figure out how to describe what it tastes like, because it's something very specific.
Oh.
Beef broth.
Beef broth tastes
It
better than
tastes
that.
like beef broth.
We'll go back to the cup of cake.
Yeah, you can. Alright, so that is all of
Get
the
that
tea for
ashes
this
out my
month.
mouth.
So I'm going to finish up drinking the tea, and then we'll just move on to our studio.
Hello everyone, so I'm back with another set of blanket squares. We're going to do 2 different squares today. Where did my ruler end up? Let's see. Here we go. So same as last time, we're going to do 2 different designs, and then we are going to just show you where I'm at on the stack so far. And then as time goes on, I'll start at combining the squares together and slowly building a blanket. So today we're going to do the 2 I mentioned last video, so that would be the slant stitch and the double crochet checkerboard. Originally I was going to go by the instructions in the book I showed you for the double crochet checkerboard, but then I realized they only gave instructions for working it in the round, and I have an idea on how to work it flat, so we're going to do it my way. But the slant one should be relatively simple. So the slant is a multiple of 4 plus 1. So I'm gonna tie on. Let's see, so last time we did 20 and it ended up being a little small. So let's do 28 and then 1 for the turning chain. So So this is a 5-row repeat. I guess a 4-row repeat, because there's a setup row and then the 4 rows after the setup row are what gets repeated. So for the first row, it's just chain 1, single crochet the whole way around. Well, you know, the whole way across, not round. It's not a round. And I do apologize if I mix up round and row today. It happens a lot. I have a hard time with that for some reason. Alright, so chain 1, turn, row 2, I should measure this before I keep going. We are at, okay, yeah, that's fine. So row 2 is again just single crochet across the entire row. chain 1 and turn. And this is the row where we get the interesting texture. So it's going to be 3 single crochet and then an extended single crochet to the row below, but then 3 stitches to the right, so this direction. So it'll be over here. I have not done this before, so I'm not 100% certain what it's going to look like. There was a picture, but I don't necessarily do very well imagining how things will look in different yarns. Okay, so this stitch, and then we're going to go 3 over, so this hole here, yeah. So we're going to go in there, lift it up, and single crochet. That'll leave a space. So you look at it, there's one of them. So it's 3 single crochet and then 1. You're going to skip that one. 3 single crochet in the next 3 stitches after that skipped stitch. And then we're going to do that again. So this one and then go over 1, 2, 3, go in there, lift up your extended single crochet, then you get those lines to the slant, skip this one here, we're going to skip, then we'll do 3 single crochet after that, 1, 2, 3, and then again, 1, 2, 3 here. Skip this one, 3 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, this hole here. This hole here, and then there should be 2 stitches at the end to finish it off. So 1, 2, chain 1 and turn. But before I turn, I just wanted you to see the little diagonal lines this creates. So rows 4 and 5 are again just single crochet all the way across. So single crochet, and then it repeats from row 2 on. So that would be the repeat is 1 row single crochet, 1 row 3 SC, 1 diagonal, extended single crochet, and then 2 rows single crochet, and that repeats until you are done with your piece. So I'm going to go to time lapse and I'm going to finish this particular square up, and then we will do the border row. Alright, so right now we're at a 6x6 square of the slant stitch. So when I was doing the time lapse, it was my first attempt at this stitch, and I noticed that it kept getting larger. So I ended up stopping the time lapse, unraveling it, and starting over. What was happening is that when I did the slant stitches, I kept accidentally increasing when I did the slant stitches, because you're supposed to skip that stitch, but it was really hard for me to see what I was doing while sitting here hunched over my desk trying to stay in frame. So I went off time lapse, finished this with it close to my face so I could see what I was doing better. And this one came out correctly. I also tried to keep track of the count of stitches in my head every single row. That also kept me on track, I guess. I'm having a little trouble with words at the moment, sorry. So yeah, definitely keep track of your stitches. It's really easy to accidentally increase, and the stitch is really subtle. It's not something I'll probably ever use again. It's a little boring, but that's okay. So I'm just going to show you how I add a border around them. I do usually a double crochet border, unless I only need a tiny bit, and then I'll do single crochet. So this is 6 by 6, and I need to get to 8 by 8. It's probably going to take 2 rows. I'm going to use this yarn here. So pick a corner to start. I usually like to do the top right corner to start. I just find it's easy to get into. And we're going to make the corner the same way we do during granny squares. So chain 2 for the first corner, and then double crochet 1, chain 2, 2 double crochet. That's all going to be in that first same stitch. This particular yarn's really slippery. Okay. And then you're going to double crochet down the entire first side. The next corner, so the last stitch, you're going to do the same thing as we would on any other corner. Like, it's the same type of corner I use for granny squares. It works just as well for the double crochet border. So 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. So for the next side, it's obviously a little bit harder to work into just because there's not already stitches there. I try to work into the turning chain and to do a double crochet in each turning chain, especially since this is a single crochet square. That should work out. Depending on the stitch used though, sometimes that's not a perfect lineup. Sometimes the spaces are larger because it's larger stitches. So in that case, I would put 2 double crochet in the turning chain. Just try to do it in a way that looks relatively even. As you do it more often, you'll get more used to it, and it's also just really hard to get it right. So don't worry about it too much if it doesn't look perfect the first few times, or ever even. You'll get it right eventually. And it also just doesn't really matter. This blanket is going to sit in my living room, and I'm mostly making it out of all these different stitches and colors for my nephews, because the older nephew in particular, he really likes colors and textures. I was showing him some of the squares when he was here last. He really liked touching it, so I'm just hoping that if I make the whole blanket, him and his brother will both really like, I don't know, using it while we're watching movies or something, maybe running their hands over it. That's really the whole purpose. So it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be interesting. Alright, we got another corner. yeah, that's really all there is to it. I'm gonna work this all the way around, and then I'm gonna do a second row, check the measurements. If it's big enough, I'll stop there. If it's not, I will do another row. That's really all there is to making the border. So I'm gonna finish this one up, and then we'll start the next square. All right, so for the double crochet checkerboard, I'm going to sort of be winging this. I know roughly how to do it, but the instructions in the book were not what I wanted. So we're gonna do it my way. You are going to need a stitch marker, and we're gonna be working with 2 colors at a time. We'll put the other color aside. That's just for when this one runs out, which will definitely happen. So pick one of your colors. I'm gonna use the neon green for the first color, and you're going to change multiple 6 plus 3, because the multiple of 6 plus 2 is for working the round. I'm doing this slightly differently. So I'm gonna do 26 stitches. No, 27 stitches, because I said 6 plus 3. Okay, so our first row, we're just going to do single crochet just to even it out, and then we'll get into the pattern row. So this row, we are going to start doing our double crochet checkerboard pattern. What's going to happen is I'm going to work across in green, put a stitch marker in it to hold the green, work across in pink, move the stitch marker to the pink, go back to green, work across, put the stitch marker to the green, work across in pink, put the stitch marker to the pink. I think it'll make more sense as you see it, but the actual rows themselves are going to be very similar. So we are going to chain 1, and then we're going to do double crochet in the first 3 stitches. And then we're going to do chain 3. We're going to skip these 3 stitches and then double crochet into the next 3 stitches. Chain 3, skip these 3, double crochet into the next 3 stitches, and I'm already realizing I messed up my math, but I am just going to roll with it. Chain 3, skip those 3, double crochet into the next 3 stitches. Basically, we're just going to have to probably add a stitch in there to make the math work, but that's not a big deal. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, and see there's only 2 on the end here when I should have had 3. So we're just going to put 2 stitches into that last one to make it work. Not a huge deal, and I guess that means in the future I should have done 6 plus 4 for the multiple. Okay, so this is what we're going to have for the moment, and I'm going to chain 2 and stick a stitch marker in here. And know any noise you hear in the background is Mike in the other room not being as quiet as he said he would be. All right, so the working tail for the green is over here. On the other side, you're going to attach the pink. So let me see. I don't want to attach it in the top of that stitch because we're going to need that stitch, so we're going to go down a row to the chain from the previous row into that hole, and we are going to chain 2, let me think, yeah, chain 4. All right, and then we're going to be working in this space here 3 double crochet. So those double crochet are going to be worked into the top of this row beneath, but around the chain, so they'll both be locked in there. So go into that, and then it just kind of pulls around it. See what I mean? They're both in there. Now there's going to be a lot of weirdness happening on the sides, but that'll be covered over when I do the border at the end. Alright, so we have 3 double crochet, chain 3, chain 3, and when you look at this, we're going to put our hook into this first chain, because remember we changed 2 at the end of the green. We're going to put our hook into that first chain and do a slip stitch to secure the pink, and then we're going to chain 2. And my yarn's getting tangled up. Alright, so put this down, remove our stitch marker from the green, put it in the pink, tighten that up, just keep it out of the way, and then we're going to go back to green. We're going to move the pink over there so it's out of the way again. So, ignore the pink. It can move over there, and now you're going to look at this, and we've already have that chain on the top, so I don't have to do any more chains to start this row. We can just go right in and do 3 double crochet on the tops of the greens from the previous row. And it occurs to me that this is going to be more of a stripe than a checkerboard, I think. I'm not sure actually. I'm going to work a few rows and see how it comes out, because the way it looked when worked in the round is very different from how it would look worked flat, of course. And I know there's a way to do this, but I think I might have screwed up. In which case, that's okay, I guess. Yeah, that's definitely not what I was going for. Let's try at the beginning here, chaining 3 instead, and then working on top of the pink ones, which will mean the next row of pink will have twice as many chains to work around, but that might still work. I'm just figuring this out, guys, so like I said, the instructions in the book were not actually for working flat, so I'm just kind of working my way through it. Alright, so the second method does do closer to what I had in mind, although it is very messy. So there are ways of doing this with mosaic crochet that would look cleaner, but they'd have all these ends on the sides. They don't really work for what I want. So I am just going to continue doing it this way until the square is done. But basically, the difference and the part that I got wrong the first time is that as I make the rows, the green rows and the pink rows have to line up. So like row 1, you do the 3 double crochet, chain 3, double crochet, chain 3 with the green, and then row 2, you do it the same way. So the pink will be on top of the green and the chains will be on top of the chains. Then row 3, you go back with the green and fill in the holes, and then the pink goes on top. You know what I mean? So like they have to line up, which is very confusing, and I don't think I did a very good job explaining it. So I am gonna just go through, finish this square, and then we will do a border around it just like we did with the other one. So time-lapse time. That finishes this video. It was kind of a comedy of errors. I made a lot of mistakes, but I did end up with 2 finished squares at the end, which is really all I had wanted. So there was that. Between these 2 stitches, I am going to come back to this one in a future video and try it again and see if I can find a more simple way to get the same effect, because I do really like the checkerboard thing. It looks really cool. but that was just annoying. So we're gonna come back to this one. I know the instructions I gave were really confusing. I'm gonna come back to it and do less confusing instructions in the future. This one is just kind of boring, I think. I like the colors, it reminds me of Perry the Platypus, but the stitch itself is not my favorite, so I'm probably not going to do the slant stitch again for anything, really. So yeah, that's about it. Hopefully you got a little bit out of this, or at least got to laugh. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see y'all again soon.